Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Today's film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's official, old buddy. Well, it has been. Line.
The film is written and directed by none other than Quentin Tarantino, who has done such films as Reservoir Dogs, the Kill Bill movies, and The Hateful Eight, just to name a few. The star-studded cast includes Leonardo DiCaprio, who has done The Revenant, Inception, and Titanic. Brad Pitt, who is known for Allied, The Big Short, Fight Club, and will be in the upcoming Ad Astra. Margot Robbie, who has previously done Mary Queen of Scots, I, Tonya, Wolf of Wall Street, and will be in the upcoming 2020 films Barbie and Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. And finally, Margaret Qualley from The Nice Guys. Alright guys, before we get into it, I do want to go over my history with Tarantino films. Skip to this time code if you could give a shit. I kind of think Tarantino's an overrated director. Yeah, that's kind of the reaction I was expecting from everyone to have. Enjoyed my 15 seconds of fame. Later, everybody. But for real, it's true. I've just never been a huge fan of his. Now, that's not to say I think his movies are bad, they're not. The man knows how to craft a story, whether it's been done before or not, and put a fun, sometimes unique spin on it. Hell, my favorite films from him are Kill Bill and Reservoir Dogs. But I still don't think that highly of him. A lot of his films suffer from a similar problem, overindulgence. Tarantino seems to know that he's a great writer, so I feel like a lot of scenes in certain films drag on too long and don't advance an otherwise interesting story. Yes, Tarantino, you write great dialogue. Please stop showing off and move the story along. Thank you. And when an artist gets self-indulgent, to me, that's a fancy way of saying pretentious. Yeah, okay, I'm sure that's not the case. He has a talent and he's leaning on it. Still, as that talent is concerned, I don't click with it. But I'm not here to trash a film. I'm here to give my honest opinion about it. So what's my honest opinion regarding Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? It's alright. It's not bad. It's not good. Sometimes it's a little boring, not gonna lie. One of the first issues that I took with the film is that it doesn't really have a narrative. At least, not a focused one that I could tell. Now, I'm perfectly aware that Tarantino is a fan of subverting traditional storytelling. Still, most of his films, you can kind of sit down and tell someone, here's what it's about. This is one of the few that I can't tell you what it's really about. You have Rick Dalton, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who's a washed-up actor, once was a huge star, now he's just not. He's taking all these small bit TV roles that are so insignificant. They're not giving him that second win that he wants. So he's taking this one last role and hoping that'll be the launch pad to a second win career. So one would think that the movie is about him. It's really not, because now you have Cliff, played by Brad Pitt, who is Rick Dalton's stunt double. He also hasn't been working that much, due to some controversy in his past, which I do admit is a lot of fun. But his whole thing is that he has this budding relationship with this hippie girl, who may or may not be underage. I'm not going to give everything away, but I feel like the movie almost goes full horror. This in of itself isn't exactly a bad thing. I was interested in seeing where it was all building up to, but it just doesn't feel like the same movie as when you see Rick Dalton throwing a hissy fit over forgetting his lines.
Embarrass yourself like that in front of all those goddamn people.
And finally, you have Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate. I legit have no idea what she's doing in this movie. It seems like her role in the film is literally just to show up, look pretty, dance and kind of be narcissistic if I'm being honest. Because she has scenes dedicated to just her sitting in a movie theater watching her own movie, you know, kind of enacting the scenes that are playing out and mouthing her own lines. And, you know, doing that thing where she looks back at the audience when they start laughing at a joke that she makes. It just feels weird. I don't know what the whole point is, because it doesn't feel like it's building up to anything other than just, hey guys, Robbie's in my film. Ain't she pretty? It feels shallow. I'm sure that's not the actual reason why she's in the movie, but she doesn't feel like she serves any real purpose. If you're anything like me and you're not the biggest fan of Tarantino, I would say the best way to go into this film is to look at it like a bunch of vignettes. Little scenes with these actors acting their asses off. Once you do that, I feel like you've got a good chance. Because when you see DiCaprio on screen, he's a lot of fun. He is really funny. When you see Brad Pitt, you are interested. You are eager to see where this is going. Robbie is cute as a button. But if you look at it as one single tapestry, you start to notice a difference in tone, in pacing, and everything, really. I have it on good authority that this was actually supposed to be the worst of Tarantino's just rambling dialogue. And while that is certainly a contribution to both the length of this movie and my occasional boredom, I had less of a problem with it here, mostly because I had a feeling that this was not a movie that had these characters collectively building toward an end goal. It was just kind of like a slice of life movie. Not really, but kind of. So it was a little easier for me to stomach this writing for this movie. Now, before anyone starts accusing me of just shitting on the film, there are a few things about the movie that I like. I may not agree with everyone who may be saying that this is Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance. I don't know, I might argue that The Revenant, maybe even Wolf of Wall Street did that. But this is a very good role, and he is a lot of fun as this really insecure actor. And it doesn't matter who he's talking to, whether it's Al Pacino, who wants to put him in a better film, the little girl on the Western set, who is just so pretentiously hilarious, or Timothy Olyphant. It doesn't matter who he's talking to or interacting with. DiCaprio knocks it out of the park. This is definitely true. Brad Pitt is, of course, a lot of fun. Some scenes that stand out with him are when he's kicking Bruce Lee's ass. I also kind of appreciate the writing in Cliff's case, how they keep it ambiguous that you don't actually know if he did anything. And holy shit, that climactic scene at the end in Rick Dalton's house was one of the more brutally satisfying and hilariously fun scenes that I've seen this side of John Wick. If this is your cup of tea, I'm glad it is. Some people are enjoying it more than I am, but I didn't. At least not all the way through. So, my honest rating for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a 3 out of 5. Alright guys, upcoming reviews include The Mountain, the upcoming Kiki's Delivery Service by Fathom Events, and if there's time, I'm going to give my review of the first Angry Birds movie in commemoration of the upcoming sequel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Hope to see you soon.